Hello everyone, and welcome back to our weekly roundup of the cryptocurrency market on behalf of Apex Signals. Now, what had looked like being a relatively uneventful week with a slight downward trend after a few weeks on the up has turned dramatic over the last 24 hours. You can see here on the right of the chart for overall market capitalization that we've had a bit of a plummet that can be seen even better here on the image from CoinMarketCap, which shows changes over the last 24 hours. Look at those red figures over on the right. Basically, all the major cryptocurrencies and the market has at large has fallen off a bit of a cliff in the last 24 hours. We have a look here at the overall market cap for 7 days and have a look to the right of the chart. You can see how quickly that's dropped. Now last Sunday we were up at just above 470 billion overall market cap. That's now down to 380 billion, and 60 billion has been wiped off over the last 24 hours, and that equates to around 14.5%. Now what's happened is that on Thursday and today, the offices of Upbit, which is the largest cryptocurrency exchange in South Korea and the fourth largest cryptocurrency exchange in the world by overall turnover, according to CoinMarketCap data, was raided by prosecutors on suspicion of fraud. Nothing has yet been proven or anything come out, but that's obviously given them the overall market the heebie-jeebies after a period of relative calm on the regulatory front. Of course, there's been a lot of regulatory action over the last few months in South Korea. It still is in many ways the biggest market in the world for cryptocurrency investors. However, the extent of the popularity caused concerns within the government and regulators over how much capital was potentially at risk in the market, and of course scandals around fraud and sort of IPOs. So IPOs were banned a few months ago in South Korea. There had actually been talk recently that the government and regulator were looking at putting together a framework for regulation that would allow ICOs to be reintroduced to South Korea. Events over the last day or two have obviously turned negative again. So we'll see how that plays out over the next couple of days, but it's safe to say that at the moment cryptocurrency space is not in a good way, and heavy losses are being sustained. Still significantly up on where we were a month ago, but it's been quite a heavy drop. Hopefully nothing terrible will come out of that raid, and even if it does, although it will be negative, it is after all one exchange. Chinese, South Korean, Hong Kong exchanges have been under scrutiny for potential funny business with regards to inflating overall exchange volume or manipulating overall exchange volume. In the last couple of months, there was an interesting investigation on the Chinese exchanges, which are now, of course, mainly in Hong Kong after they were outlawed in China, looking at how the overall trade volumes that they display don't stack up to other information, and we talked about that a few weeks ago on this webcast. So hopefully it will blow over and we will get back to a positive trajectory, but at the moment things are going down in the space. So we have a quick look here at the Bitcoin chart. We can see that we were at 9,350 yesterday evening. That's dropped to 8,500 and $8,570 at the moment, which is about 8.6%. Sorry, someone's just waving to me from the window. So 8.5% drop in a day. Last Saturday we were up at $9,950. We were getting very close to that $10,000 level. Again, couldn't quite break through, and we did see a bit of a downward trend from there, but that's to be expected to a certain extent within the very positive upwards movement that we've seen over the past month. And almost healthy. We didn't really want to get into another situation right now where prices were only going up and going up quickly. It's definitely more sustainable over the long run if we have a more gradual return of the bull market, which hopefully the current environment is, regardless of the crash over the last 24 hours. We have a quick look now at Ethereum. There's some interesting news today around Ethereum. UK startup, what was the name called again? Yes, it was Crypto Facilities. Now they are an online trading platform for cryptocurrencies, and they announced today that they will start to offer Ethereum futures, which is the first time that Ethereum futures have been offered. The company already offers Bitcoin and Ripple futures, and that announcement was made today. And I'm not sure how familiar all of you are with financial markets, but futures are essentially a bet on what the price will be in future, and they can be from anything between a couple of weeks up to a few months, and essentially they form something like an option where the derivative is exchanged according to the price at the expiry of the future. So if the future is a higher price and the price subsequently goes down, then the trader takes a loss. If the price goes above the value of the future, then they book a profit. And this is a very common derivative within mainstream financial markets. One of the big drivers of the huge bull run towards the end of last year was a couple of the major exchanges in the US. The Chicago Mercantile Exchange was one of them, launching Bitcoin futures. Now those exchanges are far bigger than the UK company which has made this announcement today. In fact, the two exchanges in Chicago, CBOE is the other, are the two biggest commodity and futures exchanges in the world. And it'll be interesting to see if we do see Ethereum or any of the other cryptocurrencies being picked up in terms of derivatives by the big exchanges going forward. So in terms of Ethereum's price trajectory, we're up to 800, above 832, 832.75, approaching $833. We saw a bit of a dip earlier in the week between the 7th and the 8th, as you can see here on the chart, which then moved into recovery before today, of course. But overall, it's not been a good week at all for Ethereum, and we're down 26% since that high last weekend. So hopefully things can turn around for Ethereum. I'm a big fan of Ethereum, as we've discussed several times here on this webcast. And finally, before we finish, let's have a quick look at EOS. Now, although the wider market was trending down over the course of this week, EOS was the exception to that row. You can see here on the chart for 7 days that we had a gradual upward movement. We were up to around $18.68 for EOS. and EOS is a rival to Ethereum. The main frame platform is yet to be launched. That's due to be launched in June. It's next generation blockchain platform that has a lot of interesting functionalities and is considered to have the potential to be far more scalable than Ethereum, and not to encounter some of the issues Ethereum occasionally has when dApps which are built on top of the platform, are seeing higher trading volumes, and there's a lot of other interesting pluses to the platform, and they are currently in staggered ICO, which means tokens are being released gradually in the run-up to the mainframe launch in June, and it's been going very well over the last little while. However, it's been one of the heaviest fallers today and has dropped over 18% over the course of today. You can see here right at the right hand side of the chart how abruptly price dropped. So let's keep an eye on things over the weekend. I think that this situation which is happening at the moment in South Korea will blow over relatively quickly. Obviously, if any misdemeanors are come across by the prosecutors, it could take a little longer and be more of a negative situation, but hopefully that won't be the case. I don't think it's something which will prompt a fresh bear market at the moment, and it could provide an opportunity for an interesting buy the dip ahead of a bounce back. So don't necessarily take this as a terrible situation. There's always a silver lining to a cloud. That's all we have time for today. Good luck with your trading over the weekend. Enjoy the weekend as well, and we'll speak again next week. And bye for now.